Hello, San Antonio. San Antonio in Black, White, and Brown wants to personally invite you to a barbecue, a restoration barbecue, this coming Friday, July the 23rd at Camargo Park from 6 to 9 p.m. Who is the invite for? It is for anyone who still loves freedom. It's for anyone who still sees that the nation has a destiny in God to fulfill. We've walked through very critical times in our nation's history. The first was a Revolutionary War. These 13 colonies came forth in a quest for freedom to form a new nation, so conceived and so dedicated to the things of God that God has upheld it and moved it forward. That same nation moved into a second very critical time in its development during the Civil War. Americans were fighting against Americans really over their sentiment about slavery and about the dignity of the human person. In 1863, in the middle of that Civil War, the slaves were freed by the Emancipation Proclamation. And so a vested interest then in the enslaved was invested into the outcome of the war. And thankfully we came out of that war in the positive. But in the same time that we came out of that, there was another thing that ensued called the Black Codes, which I'll mention in a moment. But the third crucible happened in 1929. 1929, the stock market crashed, and we were in soup lines. The viability of the nation lay in the balance, and even more so when in 1941, December 7th, 1941, our president said our then president said, this is a date that will live in infamy, referencing the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor. But we came out of that war in 1945 in victory, and the nation then had gained more global influence in the world and became a stronger beacon for freedom. Then we move on to the fourth crucible, that time when Martin Luther King and others stood up and called the nation to make good on its promises. It called the nation to live its sentiment. The American sentiment should equal the American statement in its documents. Those documents being the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And this whole time of indignation and devaluation of the human person came to a head, and it ended in the landmark law, the Civil Rights of 1964, Civil Rights Act of 1964. We came out of that fourth crucible okay. I submit to you that we're now in the fifth. You're aware of what's happening around the country. You're aware that there is torrents of activity that is taking place to prove the illegitimacy of the present presidency. Maricopa County and its preliminary information has made all of that very, very visible to the world. It's going to be even more visible next month in August 10th, 11th, and 12th, Sioux Falls, where this display of irrefutable evidence about the fraudulent nature of what happened in the elections. And there are some who see that, and they know that the freedom that this nation was birthed with has been chased as though it were prey in a forest, has been chased by these elements that have sought to seize on freedom and rip it apart and render the nation into bondage again. Wow. But there are people who understand that freedom must make it stand. Freedom must not run anymore. It must turn, dig its heels in, because it realizes that freedom is stronger than anything that faces it, any single thing or any even collective effort that faces it. And if that's you, if you're a person in San Antonio who still believes in freedom, and you still have a desire, both in our local situation, our statewide situation, our national situation, even in your own home and your own personal freedoms that you have been invested with from God, inalienable rights that you've been given by God, and that up till now has been cherished in this nation. If you're still a person who believes in those things, then this barbecue is for you. It's this Friday, July the 23rd, from 6 to 9 p.m., called the Restoration Barbecue at the beautiful Camargo Park. X your calendar. Even if you had something to do, shift your calendar if this is that important to you. And I believe for many of us, it is that important. So shift your calendar, be with us. the Restoration Barbecue, July the 23rd. That's this coming Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there. Our like minds have to find each other. Our like hearts have to find each other. And together we'll build a swell of people who love freedom and are willing to pay the price to see it continue to run free in our nation. I look forward to seeing you this Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. at Camargo Park for Restoration Barbecue. Bye-bye. See you there.